അപ്പോൾ അസൈൻമെന്റുകൾ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കേണ്ട ഒരു കാര്യം, ഈ തവണ നമ്മൾ എന്താ ചെയ്യേണ്ടതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ, നമ്മൾ എഴുതുന്ന എത്ര ഇത് വേണമെങ്കിലും ആയിക്കോട്ടെ, ലാംഗ്വേജിൽ നമ്മളുടെ ഗ്രാമറോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അത്തരം കാര്യങ്ങളോ എത്ര മോശം വേണേലും ആയിക്കോട്ടെ, അതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് ഒരു അപകർഷത ബോധം വേണ്ട. പക്ഷെ ഐഡിയ നമ്മുടെ ആയിരിക്കണം. എവിടെ നിന്നും കോപ്പി പേസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാതെ നമ്മുടെ സ്വന്തം ഐഡിയ നമ്മുടെ സ്വന്തം ലാംഗ്വേജിൽ പറയാനായിട്ട് നോക്കുക. അത് എത്ര മോശമായാലും ശരി. ഇപ്പൊ നിങ്ങൾ പ്രസന്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ആശയം അതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് നിങ്ങൾ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് പോലെ ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ വന്നിട്ടില്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിന്റെ അടിയിൽ നിങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ ലാംഗ്വേജ് മലയാളത്തിൽ അത് ഞാൻ ഇതാണ് ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചത് അങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞു കൊടുത്താലും തെറ്റില്ല. ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ പ്രധാനമായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് കൊടുക്കുന്നത് ആശയത്തിനാണ്, ലാംഗ്വേജിനല്ല. അപ്പൊ നിങ്ങൾ പറയുന്ന പ്രസന്റേഷന്റെ അകത്തെ നിങ്ങളുടെ കണ്ടന്റിനാണ് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ്. നിങ്ങൾ എത്ര ഫ്ലവറി ലാംഗ്വേജ് പറയുന്നതെന്നുള്ളതിന് ഒരു ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസും ഇല്ല. അത് പണ്ട് ഐവാൻ ഇല്ലിച്ചു പറഞ്ഞൊരു ഒരു വാചകമാണ് ഞാൻ ഓർക്കണം. അതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് ഇല്ലിച്ചു പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്, എബിലിറ്റി ടു പ്രസന്റ് എ ലാംഗ്വേജ്, എബിലിറ്റി ടു സ്പീക്ക് എ ലാംഗ്വേജ് ഫ്ലുവന്റ്ലി ഈസ് നോട്ട് ദ എബിലിറ്റി ടു പ്രസന്റ് എ ന്യൂ ഐഡിയ. ഒരു പുതിയ ആശയം മുന്നോട്ട് വയ്ക്കുന്നതിന് തുല്യമല്ല ഒരു വളരെ ഫ്ലവറി ലാംഗ്വേജ് ഇങ്ങനെ സംസാരിച്ചുകൊണ്ടേ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എഴുതിക്കൊണ്ടേയിരിക്കണം. അപ്പൊ ലാംഗ്വേജ് ജസ്റ്റ് ഒരു മീഡിയം ഓഫ് ഇൻസ്ട്രക്ഷൻ മാത്രമാണ്. അതിന്റെ അപ്പുറത്ത് മീഡിയം ഓഫ് എന്താ പറയുക കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ മാത്രമാണ്. അതിനപ്പുറത്തേക്ക് ലാംഗ്വേജിന് യാതൊരു ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസും ഇല്ല. ആശയം മനസ്സിലാവണം, നിങ്ങളുടേതായിട്ടുള്ള ആശയം അതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് മാക്സിമം കൊണ്ടുവരാൻ ശ്രമിക്കുക. അങ്ങനെ കൊണ്ടുവന്ന് കഴിയുമ്പോഴാണ് നമുക്ക് ഈ ആശയങ്ങൾ പ്രസന്റ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് നമുക്ക് ആശയങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പിന്നെ നമ്മൾ ലാംഗ്വേജിനെ തേടി പിടിച്ചു പോകും. അതാണ് നമ്മളുടെ ഒരു മനുഷ്യന്റെ ഒരു സ്വഭാവം അതാണ്. അപ്പൊ അതുകൊണ്ട് ആദ്യം ആശയങ്ങളുമായിട്ട് ചങ്ങാത്തം കൂടാൻ പഠിക്കുക. ആശയങ്ങളുമായിട്ട് ചങ്ങാത്തം കൂടുമ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവും പിന്നെ ആശയങ്ങൾക്കാണ് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് എന്ന്. അപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പറയണത് വേറൊരാൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവുന്നില്ലെങ്കിൽ അപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ ഓട്ടോമാറ്റിക്കലി ആശയങ്ങൾ സ്ട്രോങ് ആവുമ്പോൾ അതിന്റെ ലാംഗ്വേജ് നിങ്ങളുടെ പുറകെ വരും. അത് ഈ കാന്തം പോലെയാണ്. ആശയം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിന്റെ ലാംഗ്വേജ് നിങ്ങളുടെ പുറകെ വരും. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ഈ ആശയം ഉണ്ടാകാതിരിക്കുമ്പോഴാണ് നമ്മൾ മറ്റുള്ളവരുടെ ആശയവും ഇല്ല, മറ്റുള്ളവരുടെ ലാംഗ്വേജും എടുത്തു, അങ്ങനെ അങ്ങ് ആശയം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ലാംഗ്വേജ് വരും. പക്ഷെ ലാംഗ്വേജ് ഉണ്ടായതുകൊണ്ട് ആശയം വരണമെന്നില്ല. അതാണ് അതിന്റെ തീർപ്പ്. അപ്പൊ ഐഡിയക്കാണ് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് ആ പ്രസന്റേഷൻ്റെ അകത്ത്. നല്ല ഐഡിയാസ് വ്യത്യസ്ത, അതിപ്പോ നിങ്ങൾ വിചാരിക്കുന്നത് എത്ര ചിലപ്പോൾ കേട്ട ആൾക്കാർ കളിയാക്കുമെന്ന് തോന്നുമെങ്കിൽ പോലും അത്തരം ആശയങ്ങളായിരുന്നു നമ്മൾ കൂടുതൽ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടുന്നത്. കാരണം ഏറ്റവും സ്ട്രേഞ്ചസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് സ്ട്രേഞ്ച് ഐഡിയ ആരാണ് പ്രസന്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്, അത് എത്ര പ്രാക്ടിക്കൽ ആണ് എന്നുള്ളതൊരു പ്രശ്നമേ അല്ല. പ്രാക്ടിക്കബിലിറ്റി നിങ്ങൾ കാര്യമായിട്ട് ആലോചിക്കാതിരിക്കുക. കാരണം വേണമെന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചാൽ എന്തും പ്രാക്ടിക്കലാണ്. കാരണം 1970-ലൊക്കെ ആൾക്കാർ മൊബൈൽ ഫോൺ കൊണ്ട് നടക്കുമെന്ന് ആരെങ്കിലും വിചാരിച്ചാണ്? അന്ന് മൊബൈൽ ഫോൺ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ സങ്കല്പത്തിനെ കുറിച്ച് ആരെങ്കിലും പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ചിലപ്പോൾ അവനെ നമ്മൾ ഈ ബൈബിളിൽ കാണുന്ന പോലെ കല്ലെറിഞ്ഞു വന്നതിന് ചിലപ്പോൾ 1970-ലൊക്കെ അന്ന് ആരെങ്കിലും പറഞ്ഞു. ഞാൻ പിന്നെ കഴിഞ്ഞ ക്ലാസ് നിങ്ങളുടെ ക്ലാസ്സിലാണെന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞൂടാ, ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങനെ വെറുതെ വർത്താനം പറഞ്ഞു പോയപ്പോൾ ആലോചിക്കാൻ, ഈ പശുവിന് ഈ പാല് എല്ലാവർക്കും ആവശ്യമാണ്, എന്നാൽ മിൽമയിൽ പോയി എപ്പോഴും മേടിക്കുന്ന പാലിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് മായം ഉണ്ടോ എന്ന് സംശയമുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ അറ്റ് ദ സെയിം ടൈം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പാലില്ലാതെ ജീവിക്കാനും പറ്റൂല, മായം ഉണ്ടാവാനും പാടില്ല. എന്നാൽ പശുവിനെ വളർത്താനും പറ്റൂല. പശുവിനെ വളർത്തിയാൽ പുല്ലി എത്താൻ പോകണം, അവസാനം ചാണകം വരാൻ പോകണം, പശുത്തൊഴുത്ത് വൃത്തിയാക്കണം. അതൊക്കെ വലിയ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുള്ള കാര്യമാണ്. അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ വരുമ്പോൾ ചിലപ്പോൾ ഒരു പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ ചിലപ്പം കുട്ടി പശുക്കളെ കുറിച്ച്, ചെറിയ കുഞ്ഞു പശുക്കൾ, അടുക്കള നിർത്താൻ പറ്റുന്ന പശുക്കൾ, പ്ലേറ്റിന്റെ അത് വല്ല പ്ലാസ്റ്റിക്കിന്റെ ഒരു ട്രേക്കകത്ത് നിർത്തി വളർത്താൻ പറ്റുന്ന പശുക്കളെ കുറിച്ചൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ ചിലപ്പോൾ ആലോചിച്ചേക്കും. ആവശ്യമുള്ളപ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെ കറന്നെടുത്തിട്ട് പാല് നേരെ സ്റ്റൗവിലേക്ക് വെക്കുന്ന രീതിയിൽ. ഇതൊക്കെ ഒരുപക്ഷെ പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മളെ ചിലപ്പോൾ ആൾക്കാർ വട്ടം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് കല്ലെറിഞ്ഞു തരും. പക്ഷെ ആർക്കറിയാം നമ്മുടെ കാലമൊക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട്, അതായത് നമ്മുടെ എല്ലാവരുടെയും കാലം കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു സിസ്റ്റം വരില്ല എന്ന് ആർക്കാ നമുക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റാത്തത്. അപ്പൊ ഒന്നും പിന്നെ 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 ഉട്ടോപ്പിയ അല്ല, എല്ലാം ഒരു പ്രാക്ടിക്കൽ ഇത് സാധ്യത ഉണ്ടാവും. പക്ഷെ ഭ്രാന്തമായ ചിന്തകൾ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് ഇത്തരം സ്വപ്നങ്ങൾ കണ്ടാൽ മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് അത്തരം കാര്യങ്ങളിലേക്ക് പോകാൻ. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഇൻ ദ പ്രസന്റേഷൻ വാട്ട് ഐ എം ഗോയിങ് ടു ലുക്ക് അറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് നോട്ട് യുവർ ലാംഗ്വേജ്. I am not at all interested in your language. I am just going to look at the idea that you are presenting. Just idea. Idea is important. Idea can change the world. എന്നാണല്ലോ ഒരു പരസ്യത്തിൽ പറയുന്നത് അല്ലേ? എല്ലാ പരസ്യത്തിൻ്റെയും പരസ്യം ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ അത്യാവശ്യം ബുദ്ധിയുള്ളവരാണ്. intellectuals ആണ്. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് പരസ്യവാചകങ്ങൾ നന്നായി വരുന്നത്. An idea can change the world. So that's it. We were talking about curriculum studies, and I think can you see the PowerPoint now? Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Able
sir.
to.
So
Yes,
where did we stop in the last class? This one, or this one, or this slide? I think we have stopped with this third slide in the last class, isn't it? This slide.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we were talking about what should be taught in school, specific questions that are related to curriculum studies include 3 major questions which I thought are useful. Somebody wanted to join? Then I will go back. Who is that? Cyril Shaju. Okay. Again, I will present. So the major questions that we said is what should be taught in schools and why it should be taught, to whom should it be taught, what does it mean to be an educated person, what does it mean to be an educated person. Can you tell me what do you mean by an educated person? All switch on, unmute your mic. All unmute your mic. What do you mean by an educated person? Everybody unmute. What do you mean by an educated person?
Person who is having a lot of knowledge.
Knowledge. Okay.
Knowledge.
Hmm.
Information.
Okay. Knowledge and information. A person having a lot of knowledge and information. Okay. അടുത്ത ആളെ. എല്ലാവരും മ്യൂട്ടാണല്ലോ. അത് അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് പലരും കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല തോന്നുന്നു. കാരണം വെച്ചിട്ട് ഇനിയിപ്പോ അടുക്കളയിലോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ബ്രേക്ക്ഫാസ്റ്റിലോ ആണോ പലരും
ജീവിത സാഹചര്യങ്ങളായിട്ട് പൊരുത്തപ്പെട്ടു പോകാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ആള്.
എന്താ പറഞ്ഞേ?
സർവതോന്മുഖമായ വികാസം.
സർവതോന്മുഖമായ വികാസം. ഓക്കെ. എന്താണ് താങ്കൾ പറയുന്നത്?
പുതിയ സിറ്റുവേഷൻസിനോട് യോജിച്ചു പോകാൻ തക്ക രീതിയിൽ മെന്റൽ കേപ്പബിലിറ്റി വികസിപ്പിച്ചെടുക്കുന്ന.
അപ്പൊ അതിനിപ്പോ ശരിക്കും നോർമൽ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ ഇല്ല അല്ലേ? ഇന്റലിജന്റ് ആൻഡ് ഇൻഡിപെൻഡന്റ് ലൈഫ്. ശാശ്വതി പറയുന്നത് പേഴ്സൺ ഹു ക്യാൻ ലേൺ ആൻഡ് അഡാപ്റ്റ് ഫ്രം ഹിസ് സറൗണ്ടിങ്സ്. സിറില് പറയുന്നത് പീപ്പിൾ ഹു ക്യാൻ തിങ്ക് ആൻഡ് റെസ്പോണ്ട് ടു ദ സൊസൈറ്റി. Okay, modification, behavioral modification by Anusar. Okay, different questions of area of I think we will have a detailed discussion. Maybe going back. Now you can mute your mic. I just go. Okay, so we were talking about all this. What should be taught in schools? Why should it be taught? To whom should it be taught? What does it mean to be an educated person? So I think we will have a detailed discussion once you come back, because this kind of discussions needs a synchronous classroom, not an asynchronous classroom. So in that way, I think it's always better that we go ahead with a synchronous discussion. Synchronous in the sense, when you are here in the classroom, we will interact face to face, one to one, very organic discussion. Okay. So components of curriculum studies investigate the relationship between curriculum theory and educational practice. That's very important. How the theories of curriculum are being applied or contemplated in the real life situations. Then we will be able to understand whether the theories proposed by the curriculum theorists are really working in the real practical field. So that's why this curriculum study is always trying to identify the gap between theory and practice. So in that way, we can say that curriculum studies theory is always a gap finder between theory and practice. Gap finder. So when you say that you are a gap finder, or when you are trying to identify the gaps between the theory and practice, the advantage of it is that your theory will keep on modified, will be keep on changing and modified and refabricated every instances when you see that the theory is not working properly in an educational setup. So in that way, when we talk about curriculum studies, we can see that curriculum studies is an ever-growing subject in such a way that it proposes theory, try to see this particular theory in the real life situations, in the real settings, and when it finds that the real settings did not satisfy the theory as such as it was proposed, then the theory is modified, the modified theory is again applied, and then again it will find its gaps. In that way, curriculum studies is a continuous gap finder, and every gap finding is a bit of knowledge, and that mark the growth and the scaling up of the curriculum study as a subject. So it investigates the relationship between curriculum theory and educational practice. That's only one part of curriculum studies. And the relationship between school programs and the contours of the society and culture. So the second aspect of curriculum studies, second broader area where curriculum studies involve is the relationship between school programs or the college programs. Programs doesn't mean that it's only MA, MSc or MCom. All kinds of programs involved in the course of implementation of a curriculum by an educational institution, like starting from celebrations, cultural programs, and the school habits or the college habits, the rules and regulations of the schools and colleges. Say, for example, even a system where the students are not coming at on time, say, for example, punctual. If they are not punctual, then fining the students, and then if the students do not wear the uniform, and then sometimes a school may impose a fine of ₹100 to the students. All these are in practice, and all these can be counted into the basket of a program of an institution. So whatever happens in an institution, including its rules and regulations, its etiquette, its decorum, its educational practices, and all these are part of the educational programs of an institution. And we want to see how this kind of an educational program is been related to the society, to the several ideas and ideologies of the society. So that is very important, because in a society which has established a particular social system, and of course cultural system as well, and I'm combining those two, society and culture. So where there is a social system and a cultural system, this social system and cultural system will correspond to the institutions of this particular society. So if the social system and cultural system is determined in a particular way, the institutions of those social systems, including educational institutions, will well align with the social and cultural systems of that particular society. So that is very important. So established, so there exists a very concrete link, very specific link between educational activities and programs of an educational institution to which it is located. That means the social system and the cultural system where it is located. So if you think that, coming to the society, coming to the school at sharp 9:30 a.m. So that you can attend the classes which are starting at 9:45, and this idea of punctuality, of course, have a very great social relevance, and because society need this social, so in this particular value from the students for employing these students as successful laborers or maybe successful citizens of the future society. And because the society needs, if there are 100 students, and this all 100 should be having certain values, and these values of the society are being inculcated through the social institutions like education and several other institutions. So in that way, establishing or finding out the relationship that exists in a society and a culture with the programs of the institution. And here we must note that this existing social system and cultural system often do not, may not propose very concrete ideas of values. Sometimes these ideas of values will be hidden as well, may not be that obvious. Maybe many of the activities that we see today are not so quite obvious, or otherwise most obvious we will forget sometimes. Say for example, I can tell you the case of a fish. We see that a fish is always living in the water, and fish is wet, but we never think that fish is wet. But when you go into the water, we all think that we are wet. But when we see a fish or when we think about a fish, we will never think that fish is always wet. So this is most obvious factor, at the same time most hidden factor also, or most silent factor as well. So a major issue of such kind of social system is that even when there are certain issues which are most obviously being communicated to its younger generation, it may have a very, very silent, a tacit, hidden aspect of it. So unfortunately, the majority of the society do not see this hidden and tacit aspect of the values of the system, of the society and culture. So this is an important issue that we talk about when we talk about relationship between social system, cultural system, and the educational programs. So that's what I wanted to tell you. So now let us see what do we study in curriculum studies. Before that, I'm just planning to, since we are moving ahead with slides, I'm just planning to ask you, is there any doubt? No, that's better. Every module we can, every slide we can have a doubt clearance and then go ahead. Any doubt? Anything you want to add, or maybe anything you want to question, anything you wanted to challenge, anything you wanted to differ with me, or maybe add to me? Anything? No. Okay. 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 I missed one comment of Drisha. Drisha says all-round development of personality, better understand of the society. Okay. When we asked about the question of who is an educated person, the comment of Drisha was there. Okay. Saranya, no. Okay. Okay. And let me go ahead with the next slide. So what do we study in curriculum studies? So for most of you, curriculum, the idea of curriculum studies, even when you are engaged in a course of curriculum studies, for most of you, the idea of curriculum studies remains a little bit abstract. That's what I was trying to explain, the idea of curriculum studies. So what are the major, so we have seen in the previous studies what is broadly that we consider under curriculum studies. And now more specifically, when we look at it, we can see that curriculum studies will involve in theorizing the curriculum. That means theoretical aspects of curriculum, how a curriculum should be. I'm sure that when you go for when you had your B.Ed program, most of you might have gone through various schools of philosophy like idealism, naturalism, pragmatism, existentialism, realism, and so on. Okay, so each of this philosophy have their own, idea of curriculum, their own theory of curriculum, or their own philosophy of curriculum. So newer and newer forms of theories of curriculums are coming up. Maybe pragmatist, and maybe naturalist, or maybe neoliberalist, or maybe Marxist, or maybe socialist, or maybe capitalist, social democratic, several. This theorization is never-ending process. It will be developed it is developed by the educationalists, which have been revised and modified by the researchers, younger generation, and thereby their younger generation, these younger generations theory has been again refined, which I have discussed to you in the previous slide actually. So this keeps on moving. So as a result, curriculum theorizing is an important aspect of curriculum theory. And then second is the curriculum development and assessment, another important area. This is a little more practical area, or I would say a bit of pragmatic area of curriculum studies. Now, how to develop a curriculum? How do you develop a curriculum is the question here. So is there any easy way? Is there any systematic way? Is there any social way? Is there any democratic way? All these are being included here. So in what way would you like to develop a curriculum? Say, for example, you all are doing MBED now, and I'm just asking you a question. Say, for example, you were given with charge of preparing a curriculum for the 5th standard or maybe 10th standard. You just imagine. The state government give you the responsibility of developing a curriculum in your own subject, maybe mathematics or maybe whatsoever it be. You are involved in developing a curriculum of 10th standard, and you are being the chairman of that curriculum committee. How do you, what kind of philosophy or what kind of procedure you will adopt to develop a curriculum? So this involves a lot of theoretical support. You need a lot of theoretical support, practical, and a lot of thinking you have to put into it. So curriculum development is in fact a very, very well-structured scientific way of doing it. And at the same time, it has a lot of philosophical and it has a lot of philosophical implications as well. So, so it's there. So curriculum development is an important area of curriculum studies. So you will be invited when you complete your course as a Master of Curriculum Studies. Now we have several deemed universities, and several business organizations, training programs. All of them will invite you. Sir, we wanted to develop a curriculum and managing our trainees. We wanted to have a curriculum for training our teachers. We wanted to have a curriculum for training our BSNL officers or something of that sort. So then you are supposed to give them a framework how to develop a curriculum. So then you go there and then you train them and you involve them. Even if you are not a specialist in that particular subject area, you will be able to give a broad framework of how to develop a curriculum. So this is what the practical way that a curriculum theorist and a curriculum student will make use of it. So curriculum development, and of course assessment. How to do assessment is another important area. So if a curriculum is implemented, how do we assess the effect of a particular curriculum? So that is also another important area that we do in curriculum studies. Okay. Now, and the third one is pedagogy. Of course, what kind of pedagogy and what are the defects of a pedagogy? How do a pedagogy fit with a particular group? And how to develop a pedagogy? How to evaluate a pedagogy? All these are part of curriculum studies. So these all are our area of interest. And then curriculum inquiry, another important area. So you lot of researchers in the area of curriculum, and you do dig up a lot of information. You ask a lot of questions about curriculum and existing curriculum, and you see how this curriculum impact a student, and you see how a curriculum impact a parent, you see how a curriculum is being impacted by the people who are transacting it, that is teachers, and you see how curriculum is being impacted by the every single member in a particular society. So that's what is curriculum inquiry. So it involves an element of research in it. A bit of research in it. Just a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. There was a very urgent call in between. So then curriculum history of curriculum. History has something to tell us always. When you look at a curriculum, it should convey a history of it. That's very important. Every individual should speak about their own history. Even if they are not vocal, there should be a history that is silently communicating from your face. That means your life history, from your life phase to a seer, to a person who is seeing you. So when I see you, you communicate silently your history to me. And when you see me, my face communicates a history to you, my own life history. So that communication happens, provided if you're a historian, if you would like to see the history of the people, if you're a historical eye, it will speak to you. So curriculum has a history. Looking at the history of the curriculum, you see what are the impact and what are the factors that have swayed curriculum development, curriculum theory, curriculum practices, and so on. That's very important. And then leadership and advocacy in curriculum development and curriculum implication. And you are being approached by several institutions, like, if you're a curriculum specialist, curriculum study specialist, sometimes maybe a famous school. For example, a Good Shepherd School. This is a hypothetical name. A Good Shepherd School principal will approach you, sir, we want some kind of advocacy for improving our curriculum implementation. So can you just give us some consultation about improving the curricular practices of our school? So that happens. That's a big business across the world. People are churning out a lot of money out of it through this advocacy, how to improve the school programs. And even in India, I think in major urban cities and all, this curriculum advocacy has become a major area of profession for many of the people now. And then researches related to teaching, teacher research, the way teachers are teaching, the problems that impact the teaching, the teacher, and all these are another important area that impact curriculum studies involved in. And then intercultural and international dialogues on curriculum means intercultural and in the sense that the cultural practices of two different societies or more different societies, and dialogues among these cultural aspects, how a particular curriculum which can be used for both the societies with their own domestication and then their own personal adjustments and so on, personalization and so on, not personal adjustment, personalization and so on. So this is domestication is another important intercultural international dialogue, so as to include every cultural values and every cultural practices in a particular curriculum. And then of course finally the politics of curriculum, that's very important. Every curriculum has a politics. Politics doesn't mean that Communist Party, Congress Party, BJP, Janata Dal, Samajwadi Party, or so on. Politics in the sense that curriculum conveys a particular interest of a particular group of people. And this group cannot be confined to a political party. It cannot be confined to a particular section of the people. It is a complicated mix of economic interest, cultural interest, social interest, and different other kinds of interests. So unraveling or maybe unfolding all these political complications which are involved, political interests which are involved in this particular curriculum is very important for a curriculum studies theorist. You have to say, for example, it's like a milk. When you see it, you will find milk only in it. But when you go deep into it, you will see that there is curd in it, there is butter in it, there is ghee in it, there is XY in it, there is cream in it. All these kind of things are part of milk. Similarly, curriculum is just a milk. It consists of so many other components as well. When you go deep into that, you will understand what are the major, vitamins and several other components which are involved in a curriculum, which will help you to see how curriculum is impacting to the larger section of the society. I would like to advise you two main books which I have found very interesting. Curriculum studies, two major books I would like to advise, because many of the students used to ask to suggest some books particular. I would say that these two books are very good. First one is the Curriculum Perspective, Paradigm and Possibility by William Skubert. So William Skubert in the Curriculum Perspective, Paradigm and Possibility. That's a good book. Seems to be a well-written book. And another one is Curriculum, Understanding Curriculum by William Pinar et al. A group of thinkers, writers have joined together to write this book, Understanding Curriculum. You can even search whether this book is available free online. If it is free online, you can search and then you can download it, you can start reading it, or even I have requested the library or university librarian to purchase these two books, and he has agreed that he will be purchasing it very soon, so that you can, I think I have requested him almost 1 month before. I'm sure that maybe in another one month he will purchase it, maybe, or sometimes even already it may be available there. So in that case, certainly you can go and refer these two books in our library. I'm sure it's going to come in our library, because librarian has responded to me that he will purchase it. So I would say that curriculum studies emerged as a distinctive field in the late 1960s. So it's a very young subject. Curriculum studies is a very young subject. And early 1970s, from educationists focused on curriculum development. So in 1960s and 1970s means it's less than some 50 years of age, or only half a century, this subject has emerged as a particular distinct area of discipline. And a branch of curriculum studies that investigates how society transmits culture from generation to generation has been tagged with the term hidden curriculum, which I was talking, not with the name. Even today's class, I was talking to you about various decorum practices of a particular school. I was meaning silently about this particular idea. So, hidden curriculum is an idea, even if where we have an open curriculum, an obvious curriculum, apparent curriculum, under which there will be hidden curriculum. There will be a hidden curriculum, under every open curriculum. That's what it's called as hidden curriculum. Emily Durkheim observed that more is taught and learned in schools than specified in the established curriculum of textbooks and teacher manuals. I think we have 20 more minutes, I believe. So I request all of you to read this quote of Emily Durkheim, and then make a comment of your own on your notebook. I'm sure that you're sitting with a notebook or at least a piece of paper. I request you to read this particular comment, this particular quote of Emily Durkheim, and write your understanding on your book. All of you can unmute your phone now. With unmuted phone, you start making your own comment. എന്തായി? ഞാൻ ഷെയറിംഗ് നിർത്തുകയാണ്. പിന്നെ നമുക്ക് നേരിട്ട് കാണാം. എല്ലാവരും നോക്കിയെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കും. എഴുതി കഴിഞ്ഞോ? മുസമ്മിൽ അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യൂ. മുസമ്മിൽ ഫോണിന്റെ അടുത്തില്ല. മുസമ്മിൽ ഫോണിന്റെ അടുത്തില്ലേ? ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ. ലയ അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യൂ. ഓക്കെ. ലയ എന്ത് തോന്നുന്നു വായിച്ചിട്ട്?
He says about formal education, structured education for role of socialization for children.
Okay.
How education is able to perform the role of socialization.
Okay. Very good. Okay. ശിവകാവ്യ എന്ത് തോന്നുന്നു ശിവകാവ്യക്ക്?
Hello, sir.
എന്ത് തോന്നുന്നു? What do you feel about it? What do you think about it?
Here education is an agent of socialization. He was particularly interested in teaching of moral education.
Okay. Good. ഭാവന എന്ത് തോന്നുന്നു? ഭാവന ഭാവനയെ അടുത്തില്ല ഫോണിന്റെ അല്ലേ? ഇത് നല്ലൊരു വഴിയാണ്. ആരൊക്കെയാണ് ഈ ഫോൺ പിന്നെ ലോഗിൻ ചെയ്ത് വെച്ചിട്ട് വേറെ പണി നോക്കുന്നത് നമുക്ക് അറിയാൻ പറ്റും. ഇങ്ങനെ ഇടയ്ക്ക് വിളിച്ചു നോക്കിയാൽ മതി അല്ലേ? ശാശ്വതി എന്ത് പറയണോ? ശാശ്വതി എന്ത് പറയുന്നു? വാട്ട് ഡു യു തിങ്ക് അബൌട്ട് ഇറ്റ്?
സർ, ഒരു കരിക്കുലത്തിൽ നിന്നും നമുക്ക് കിട്ടുന്ന അറിവിനേക്കാൾ നമ്മളൊരു വിദ്യാലയത്തിൽ നിന്നും അറിവ് നേടുന്നു. എങ്ങനെയാണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഒരാളോട് എങ്ങനെ സംസാരിക്കണം, പിന്നെ പങ്ക്ച്വലായിട്ട് എത്തണം, പിന്നെ എല്ലാവരോടും എങ്ങനെ ഇടപഴകുന്നു, അതിനെല്ലാം ഉപരിയായി എങ്ങനെ ഒരാളോട് പെരുമാറണം, ബഹുമാനിക്കണം എന്നൊക്കെ പഠിക്കുന്നു.
വെരി ഗുഡ്. സോ വോക്കൽ. പ്രസന്ന എന്ത് പറയണു?
Sir, morality that can be changed through education and society can reform. That means by the time the children leave the school, most will have learned self-discipline and they not need to be controlled.
Very good. Without being exerting force, they will be self-disciplined.
Yeah.
Very good. So fair എന്ത് പറയണു?
He says students are learning and experience the things than planned in curriculum and the aims of school and the teaching manners of the teacher.
Very good. Anybody else? Those who wanted to volunteer?
So in this King's Court, he's saying mainly about discipline. He says about discipline, and he says that the life of the child in a school is made to adjustable person in society.
Okay.
Adjustable person.
Okay. Very good. Adira wanted to say something.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
There are many rules and regulations. By doing this,
Yeah.
we know about punctuality, discipline,
Okay.
etc.
You know nallതാണ്. Okay.
Community among students.
Okay. Okay. സൂര്യ എന്തോ പറയാൻ വന്നല്ലോ.
A student has his own obligation towards him to school and society. And the school also offered some obligation towards some rules to the student also. So there is an integration between the spiritual discipline in the child. So it can be become a vehicle of moral growth by integrating those.
Okay, very good, very good. Tripartite, interest, അല്ലേ? Interest to oneself, interest to school, and interest to society.
Yeah. Then it will change into the, actually it's a vehicle of moral growth by integrating these things.
Vehicle of moral growth. Very good. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, I think no one. Anyway, we will wind it up here. If you want to ask anything about the previous discussion or today's discussion, you can ask me now. Otherwise, I know that Dr. Vandita is waiting for you for the next class. Otherwise, we will wind it up. We'll spend 1 minute for waiting for your questions. Okay, Sarayu says that discipline teaches a child to follow rules. Okay. True. Okay, we will stop your class today. So have a nice day. Wonderful day. Thank you.